You know, it's kind of strange. I've been doing this thing for a while. I've been making videos, I've been building blasters, doing reviews, talking about tips and tricks and everything in between, and yet it's never been asked and I've never had to answer it, but I think it's the most important question that I could ever answer for anybody who watches my content, and that's, why do I nerf? Why am I sitting here doing all of this stuff? I mean, there's got to be a reason besides just wanting to make videos, right? And yeah, I mean, why choose nerf of all things to do that with? And there's a really easy answer for that, and that's, there's so much creative craziness that goes on in this hobby. And I don't mean just the people who do modifications, but then you also have the people who do the way they play, using even stock blasters. There's so much differences, and yet everybody can be really good at it. And I've noticed, because I've been to, you know, businesses that are basically just Nerf arenas. You pay money, you can rent a blaster, or you can just take one with you, like one you have from home, and go play with other people in a constructed environment, and you see a lot of different stuff. I mean, sure, you can have a strife, and then you can start throwing different attachments on it. I mean, maybe this was the only stock you had, or maybe this was the stock you really liked, or why choose the strife? There are other blasters that are similar to the strife. Why choose this one over those? I mean, why choose flywheels over springers? I mean, there's differences between these, and they're both good at various things, and some people swear by one or the other. And that kind of differences is what makes this hobby so interesting. The only thing I could really equate this to, and this is going to be a really roundabout freaking simile here, but Gundam Build Fighters is an anime where kids build plastic models of the robots from the series, the anime Mobile Suit Gundam. And some people just build one-to-one replicas from the kits, and some people take it a lot farther. But what makes it interesting is that then they can take their model and put it on a machine and control it like it was the actual robot from the show. In the show, because that makes sense. But you got people that maybe they like the look of that one, or they like it, but they like parts from other ones, or they want to build something that's completely theirs, and they get to choose their weapons and how it works and everything like that. And it's a very, very big thing in that universe. Everybody, just like every freaking anime, everybody in the world is into Gunpla. And that's kind of what I wish Nerf would be. And the reason for that is, and I know this does exist in some capacity in airsoft and paintball. Let's say, okay, so I like the stock and stuff, I can do all this kind of stuff. Or let's say I want to go one step further and I can just buy some really cool parts that completely change the look. Even though these are the same blasters, they're completely different, aesthetically at least, but maybe I go one step before that. Maybe I want to put different motors in here. Maybe I want to make this one full auto. I can do that. There are parts out there that let me do it, or I can just build something that does it. But do I want to do 3S? Do I want a 2S? Do I want to have a canted flywheel cage? Do I want high crush? Do I want smooth fly? There's so much out there, and while there are some things that are clearly better than others, there's other places where, yeah, maybe you want to sacrifice a little bit of distance to get a little bit better accuracy and stuff like that. And again, these are just two really roundabout examples, and you know, you're considering these are just pretty much stock products, and we're talking about throwing different things into them, but there's a whole nother realm of crazy. I mean, let's say I wanted to take something like that and do something completely different with it. How do I do that? Well, that's kind of where I come in, because I build stuff like the Deleter. Now, this is obviously a Nerf N-Strike Elite Hyperfire, but it's almost unrecognizable because I've modified it to crap and back. I mean, this thing is completely different than what it once was, and this blaster I built has been tailor-made to do one and precisely one thing, and that is empty these magazines faster than anything else I have could. And it does it very well, and it doesn't even just do one, it does two. I want to shoot lots of foam at my opponent at reasonable velocities with good accuracy as quickly as possible. Obvious downsides to that is I have to reload this thing quite often, and reloading it while capable of, being done is a little bit difficult, especially when somebody could just take a semi-auto blaster and, well, it only takes one dart to get somebody out for the most part, unless you're playing some other different type of game, and that's a whole nother ballpark because there's so many different games you could play, and we didn't even really get to the playing part because it's not just building cool stuff like that, but then I get to go out there and use it. I mind blown. That's the coolest part of all of this. And there are various levels of modification. You could buy parts, throw it in there. You could take a standard blaster and give it a different paint job. And then you could do that thing. Or you can take it even further than that if you really wanted to and do something absolutely stupid, like the Chimera Strike. Because why would I not want to have every ammo type that's pretty much popular on the field on one blaster, and then have the option, if I chose, to disconnect one of the blasters and still use it independently? It's not solvent welded on there. I can take it off and use it by itself, or I can hand it off to a friend. Why? I don't know, but I can. And sometimes that's the only reason I need, is just to want to do it and the drive to do so. It's a really interesting hobby, and I'm just one person. There are thousands of people out there. Every day, more and more are jumping in. They see something cool, they want to build it, but they want to make it their own. Maybe somebody really liked this, but thought there should be a different stock on it. Or maybe they should make a different stock on it. Or they took this blaster almost identically, but they made a different grip, or they used the grip from another blaster. They cut this one off, they put the new one on, they made the mechanics all work, and then it's theirs. Nobody else has anything like that. And then there's people who are like, I really like that, but I wish it did this. And then they take that person's idea, they build upon it, and hey, John Smith just did this really cool thing where he took a hammer shot grip and put it on this thing, and I did the same thing, but I didn't like how the trigger was set up, so instead of having the rev trigger, I just had the one trigger that did everything. And then John Smith sees that and says, that's a really good idea, but I got one better than that, and it just keeps going back and forth, and sooner or later, everybody is making something completely crazy, and then you go to a war and you get tagged out by a really fit person with a Maverick, and it happens. And that's NERF. And that's why I love this hobby. Upon everything else I could be doing, this is what I want to do. And the only thing I want from here on out is to get people who watch this that don't think they're confident enough to mod blasters, that don't think they can do something like this, to just do it. I want you to build cool stuff. I want to see what you build. I want to build what you build if it's cool enough, or if it's something that I desperately need, or maybe it's something I don't see myself using, but man, I really liked what you did with that foregrip. I think I'm gonna do that and put it on this thing, and then it's a completely different thing, and it just goes on and on and on, and it's a ton of fun. And I have a lot of friends in this hobby, a ton of them. Great people. Not a single one have I ever asked, why do you do what you do? Why do you NERF? There's a lot of people whom are gonna be curious about that as well. So I implore those of you who are watching this video, let me know down in the comment section below, why do you NERF? And if you're somebody that I know that makes videos, maybe you should tell me why you NERF. And if you're not, but you know somebody who does make videos or something like that, maybe ask them, why do they NERF? Because everybody's gonna have a different answer for it. And this one's just mine. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. And around here, it's usually something completely different.